Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do this video in regards to valuing yourself, and this is an extension of the previous video that I did, and please show your appreciation, comments, like, subscribe, continue to come back for these videos. Okay. In this video, again, valuing yourself. And when you value yourself, you should be able to stand up for yourself, and you should be able to feel heard and feel that your voice is important, and feel that you should want to be heard, and that others should want to hear you. You should also not accept being mistreated, whether it's in relationships, whether it's friendships, family, or lovers, or even jobs, careers. Saying things like, if you don't, whatever it is that you desire that's making you feel like junk, garbage, used, abused. Whatever they're doing, if they're talking to you a certain way, saying, I don't accept how you're talking to me. I don't accept how you're treating me. And this is how I deserve to be treated, and say, I deserve to be talked to with respect. I deserve to be treated with dignity. And you're not doing that, and this is not okay. I don't accept this. And family or not, this could be a brother, this could be a parent, this could be mom or dad, this could be a grandparent talking to you a certain way. And in this situation, they may not be able to change. If it's a grandparent and they're older and they're able to learn stuff, but sometimes they're set in their ways, and that's fine. But you're going to be set in your way that you deserve to be treated, because you're not unworthy. You're not worthy of being treated like garbage. You're worthy of being treated better. And that goes for everyone. That doesn't mean, just because you do something people don't like, that you deserve to be treated like crap. I don't. Maybe, it may make the person treat you like crap, because that may be the way they are. But if they don't show remorse and show apologetic concern, then are they really sorry? Probably not. And do you deserve to have someone be sorry? Yes, you do. And if they can't listen to that, what your desires are and what your feelings are for being treated properly, then you tell them, I don't accept this. I may not be around you anymore. I just may not come around as much, or even at all, like if they're really bad. And even if you do it, even if you continue it, and then you have to, of course, stick to your guns. You say you're going to do it, you have to do it. And you have to be ready to do it, because you're going to have in your mind, you're going to say, I deserve better, right? And they may not change. Be ready for that as well. Be prepared to say, oh, well, I guess that's what they made their choice. And if they don't say anything and they don't do anything, that's also a choice. Silence is a choice as well. Okay? And, there's been some times where in my life, and some can relate, you have friends that want to spend time with you, or you want to spend time with, and they just don't make the effort. A friend who used to come into town, lived pretty far away, he would, say, let's hang out, let's try to get together. The time would come, and, oh yeah, or he wouldn't respond at all sometimes. He wouldn't say anything if I said, oh yeah, hey, what do you want to do? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Sometimes he wouldn't respond, or sometimes he would just say, oh, I got, something else, I'm going to hang out with somebody else. And then, I would say, oh, okay, all right. And then the next time I said, oh, I didn't get a chance to see you this time. Oh, yeah, we didn't hang out. Then, we'll have to do something next time. Next time comes, and the same thing. Oh, I'm doing something with somebody else. And then eventually, the way I got with it, because I'm putting effort into this, like in caring, you're coming into town, I want to see you, I want to talk to you, I want to hang out with you and see what you're up to. And you don't want to make time for me? Eventually, with that friend, I said, oh, yeah, he'd say, oh, yeah, I'm coming into town, and be like, oh, okay. And that was it. And it may seem cold, but like, what about the coldness that I got when I said, oh, yeah, you want to hang out? Oh, no, I don't want to hang out. Or, oh, no, I'm going to do something with this person instead. And it was this person that, like, they would try to hook up with. And it's like, okay, I get it. Like, you want to hook up with them, but like, I'm not important. So that's what it became with me. And then even with family, sometimes the family members that I have would live out of town, would come into town and, hey, you want to hang out? Yep, we'll hang out. And then, oh, and I'm tired, this or that. And then eventually I had spoken to him and said, hey, look, I don't know what's going on. This seems to happen a lot. And it was happening with a lot of people in my life. And it was just showing me people that maybe it was highlighted and saying, this is a problem. And it was telling me to maybe do something or say something or try something different. So I said to him, hey, look, I don't know what's going on, but every time you come into town, you don't want to hang out. You're always tired. You're always doing this. You're always doing that. And you're always wanting to do something with someone else. I'm like, I don't know what the deal is. Oh, I don't know. And then when I come into town, next time we'll have to get together. The next time came, same thing. So then eventually I just said, okay, all right. And I did the same thing I did with a friend. And this is a brother, right? And I said the same thing. And then he came into town again, and I saw him at the end of his time that he was here, which he said, earlier, and I never looked back, which, you have busy lives. You make mistakes. You think, you know something, in the back of your head. And I said, it was in the back of my head. He's coming into town around this time, but I didn't have the dates in my head, and I didn't look back at it again. He never reminded, never sent a text and says, oh, yeah, I've been here for almost 2 weeks. And I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, again, you made your choice. And that's fine. I'm making my choice. When you say I'm going to come into town again, I'm going to say, okay, like I did before to my friend. And I'm going to say, okay. And then I'm not going to put any more effort into it because the effort I put into it didn't come back. It didn't reciprocate. It wasn't reciprocated. And I deserve better than that. And that's the way I became with it. And you should be receiving, receiving as much as you give. If not, at least something, an effort. The effort at least is there. Oh, yeah, let's do this here. You know what? I'm working. I can't do that. Can we do it this day? Oh, yeah, I'm going to town, out of town, I'm going to hang out with this person. Oh, okay. All right. Well, then that's fine. But there's no effort. Then it's like, well, I deserve the effort, right? You deserve the effort. No matter what anybody tells you, no matter what you think of yourself, you deserve the effort for somebody to put in time to hang out, talk, get together. And in these relationships, sometimes, when it comes to lovers, and you should be receiving their love and having their support just as much as you're giving them. And yes, if you're not giving love and support, realize it. If you realize that you're the problem, do it. Do something about it. Say, oh, well, I guess I'm not being as loving and supportive as I should be. And this person desires me to be this way. And if it's a relationship that you truly care about, you'll make the change. And talk to them differently, support them differently, love them differently. And that shouldn't be like an overwhelming, like they shouldn't make you they shouldn't want you to do something that you don't want to do. Like if they're trying to make you do stuff like say, example, they're trying to get you to hurt them while they're having sex. If they want to do that, I mean, if you're into it, okay. But if you don't want to do that and you don't want to hurt somebody like that, it's not your thing, they shouldn't be demanding it of you. There shouldn't be any demands of anything. It should be will you treat me this way? Will you treat me better? Because if you're making a demand, it's kind of like it's your way or the highway. And there should be like a part of you that has a say. It shouldn't be eliminating your say and you to speak and say what you need to say and express yourself about the situation. And in these situations, with these lovers that you have, you should be allowed to make mistakes. You're allowing them to make mistakes, yes, but not continual repeated mistakes. Now, you make a mistake, a person's going to learn. And it takes a couple times to learn. It might take, and it depends on the person, maybe it's 5 times. If they're showing the effort and they're making it better than it was, and they're making progress towards making a change and trying not to make the same mistake, I mean, it's kind of like a personal thing. It's a personal preference. If you are okay with it, then, they're making progress, then sure. But if they're not making an attempt, that's kind of like you're saying, my feelings aren't being respected, okay? And these situations with lovers, if it's a karmic versus a soulmate, a karmic relationship could be something that you had in other lives. And, you had relationships in other lives, whether it's a friendship or maybe it was something else. It may have been a lover in a past life. And yes, I believe in more than one life. I grew up Christian, but I don't believe that when you die, that's it. Just like any energy is not created nor destroyed. And obviously, God can create new souls. Or I think for the most part, not really 100% sure about exactly how that happens, but God can, of course, give you another life. You have multiple lives. That's why there's people that, depending on what their placements are and there's whatever characteristics they needed that they had when they were born and what they were given, which in that case were what they chose for this life. You have this life, and then you have, the end of your life. You live, you go through the end of your life, you die. You go through whatever it is that you review, and you look at your life and what the things that you wanted to come here to do, to grow and to change and to have soul growth. And you evaluate, whether you want to do that again or do you need to do it again? Did you fulfill it enough? And then you move on to the next life and you determine the things you want to do in the next life. And then you start it over. And I guess getting back to what I was talking about with karmics and soulmates, karmics may have been from somebody from another life that you didn't finish something with. You didn't finish a relationship. You didn't react the way you desired to. You didn't finish the relationship the way it was supposed to, the way you were meaning to. And you have something there that's still between the two of you that needs to be worked out. And a karmic will be somebody that hurts you. When you see a relationship that there's somebody that's mistreating you and not changing and not doing things that they said they do, and they're lying to you and they're cheating on you, that's a karmic relationship. Because a soulmate will not be somebody that does that. I mean, there's a chance still that they make a mistake and they end up hurting you as a soulmate, yes. But they would feel bad about it, and they would do something to change it, and maybe feel bad about it in a certain way that they'll actually make a change for you. A karmic won't do that. A karmic will just say, it happened, and they'll just continue doing it to you. And of course, the karmic, you finish it up and you rely on your intuition to say, well, this is the way I think that I need to deal with it. And you try to like think about it and weed through it and try to figure out how you should handle it. And then you do something to change it. And I think, in some of my relationships in my life, my main one, I decided that I didn't want to be treated the way I was being treated anymore. Personal time wasn't allowed. I wasn't allowed space for me to be me, and being a Gemini, that's something that's important for me. That's like time to recharge, time to be alone, time to think and go through things. I'm a thinker. I think, and time to write down my feelings and write and express myself. If I don't get time to do that, it's not good for me. It starts to drag me down. I start to get drained easier, and I start to not have as much joy in my life, and you don't end up having a good time. You're not having a good time with your life. And a soulmate is very understanding with this, and they'll make attempts to change, because a lot of times soulmates are somebody that you've had relationships with in the past and other lives. So they have more of a love built up for you, and they have more of a love for you. And they'll want you to be you. They'll want you to be the authentic you. They'll want you to have time for the things that you need to be yourself. So then when you move on, I'm going to continue moving on talking about a job or your career, okay? A job and a career shouldn't make you feel used and abused. You should feel good, and you should feel like you want to go to work every day and not have toxic things happening while you're going to work or because you're going to work. Like, for instance, it should fit into your life. You should be able to have time to spend with your family, have time to do things yourself, do things personally, your personal time, whether that's exercising. That's important for your life. That causes you to raise your vibration when you get a lot of decent amount of physical exertion and physical exercise, right? Time to think. Time to do whatever it is that makes you happy and makes you continue to be you and have a good mental attitude and a good emotional attitude. And of course, physical as well for the exercising part, right? You should have the correct amount of sleep that you get, the balance within your life. You should be allowed to sleep, if you desire 6 hours, at least get 6 hours. 8 hours, if you desire 8 hours, you should get your 8 hours. And sometimes careers and jobs, and I currently as well am dealing with that. I have multiple shifts that I have to work at any given time, and it's not like a set schedule. And it's hard. It's hard not getting a lot of sleep on some days because you got to get up early, whether it's getting up early with the kids and getting home late, depending, we have somebody that gets the kids on the bus and gets them ready for school and stuff, but some days they're not available and then I have to do it. So there are those days, if I work the night before and I get out late, then it's going to be it's going to hinder my ability to focus and be able to be happy and joyful, and I deserve to be happy and joyful and have time to do what I need to do and not feel like garbage and not be able to do the things that I feel like I should be able to do and not have to feel like garbage. Because when you feel like garbage, do you feel like doing anything? No. You don't feel like you're there 100%. You're not present. And that's a big thing in many people's lives that they're missing. And I was missing it for a long time, being present with what's in the present. Because when you're focusing on other things, you're not really living your life the way you should be. You're not there for your kids. You're not paying attention to what they need. You're not giving them what they need. If they need something, you're not noticing what they need. You're not being there for them the way that you need to be, and for them to have you be present, to feel loved, to feel like you're a supportive family member, a supportive mom or dad. I feel very strongly about that myself. So I make it so that I make extra effort to be able to, even if I'm tired, and there were times where I was tired and I got up early with the kids after getting 3-4 hours of sleep. And I would need to be awake when they're awake. And if they were not awake, then they were moving around or whatever, I still had to be awake. I didn't have time to go back to sleep. I couldn't go back to sleep because they're a danger then that they hurt themselves or they get into something that they're not supposed to. I made extra effort so that whether I wanted to fall asleep or not, I didn't fall asleep completely. I'd sit there with my eyes closed and just rest my eyes, but I'd never allow myself to fall asleep so that if they were put in danger at all, that would happen. And the same thing with the way I'm trying to be present with them. I try to focus on what they're saying, even if it's extremely hard. 3-4 hours of sleep causes you to lose focus easily. And sometimes you feel like you're not enough. And it just hits you if you're not used to it. And I became used to it. And I think, that I definitely dealt with something that I shouldn't have dealt with, or I should have done something differently. And that may be true for other people, and that may be a lesson that you have to learn. And it's definitely a lesson that I'm having to learn and deal with and accept. I've accepted what I've had, and because I thought there was nothing else or no other better way. And I'm learning that there is a better way, and that I shouldn't accept living that way. And your job shouldn't require you too much of you. If it requires a lot of time from you, in which 10 hours is a long time away from your family. It doesn't allow you to see them on time, like if you're trying to eat dinner at 5 o'clock and sometimes you started early. I started early. Sometimes I'd start later. I wouldn't get home till 6-7 o'clock. And it's hard to do anything then because the kids are going to bed in an hour, 2 hours. So what can you really do if you're spending time eating? And then, if you have a job that requires you to stay a little longer because of business needs, busyness, same thing. It's overlapping and it's taking away from time that you should have with your family, whether that be kids, whether that be family members, parents, grandparents. If it's taken too much time, and maybe if that's what you want, and things have changed a lot for me. I used to accept it and say, I couldn't make a family get together because I had to work, because I work nights. And, I couldn't get off for that night. I accepted it, and I was just like, I wouldn't go to family get-togethers. And it's not easy not seeing your family and holidays, and sometimes it would be birthdays that they had, and it's like, yeah, you want to be there for somebody, but it's like your job's preventing you from being able to do that. And then, sometimes more than 10 hours, 11, 12 hours. That's a big strain on you mentally, physically, and emotionally. And you deserve better. I deserve better. You deserve so much better. And you should be feeling good, aligning with what feels good for a career and job. And if you don't align with it, and you don't have time to do everything that you're seeing and feeling and seeing that you want to do, that you don't get to do, you're noticing it, then it's hard to be able to live the life that you want to live. And it seems like this job is kind of like taking more than it should from you. And you should have a job that checks all the boxes. You should have a career. And it may take some time to build up to it, but it's worth it then. Because then you have that job that you align with, it clicks with you. You have time with your family. You have time to exercise. You have time to do whatever it is that requires you to be there for, to be present for. And the same thing goes with the relationships. Aligning with the person that treats you right, that you deserve to be with, that you deserve to have love you just the way you love them. And you do things together and then they allow you to do things separately. So these are some ways that you can value yourself, and why it's important to value yourself, because you are important. And when you don't value yourself and when you don't feel important, it shows. The people around you show it to you. They'll show you, they'll bump into you, or, they'll start talking and not want to listen to you, or not take into consideration your thoughts and feelings and just maybe ignore you. And when that shows, it's a reflection of your inner world and inner mirror. It's mirroring you, what it is that is the problem. And it's showing you, here, this is not good for you. And it's showing from someone else, and somebody else is not being good to you. And it's a sign to take control and figure out how to value yourself and to be better to yourself. And everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves to be treated properly, to have respect. And if you have to deal with something, then you have to deal with something, okay? And that's why, like, a lot of the videos that I've started doing, I've done things about like why it's important to heal and why it's important to worry about what it is that you need to work on. Because when you do the inner work, your outer world will change. You do the inner work and you feel, I deserve to be valued. I deserve to be treated properly. I deserve to be loved. I'm lovable. I deserve better. It'll show in the outside world. And then it takes some time and it takes effort. Yes. And you'll grow. And you'll be a better person for it. You'll be happier. You'll be in line with what it is that else that needs to align with you. Whether that's the career, the job, whether you're maybe becoming an entrepreneur, where you're doing your own business and feeling like you have the love that's there for yourself. Because then in that situation, you're going to want to do things, you want to try new things, and you're going to be probably at a lower point because you're like, oh, do I do this? Am I able to do this? But you need to say, yes, I can do this, okay? Believe in yourself. And I think that's going to be another video that I do, is self-belief. And a long time, that's something I struggled with. And it was because I didn't have confidence. And I didn't believe in myself because there were other things that happened that didn't allow me to think and feel that way. Things that I said to myself, the way I said things to myself, the words I let myself speak on the inside, the things in my head, what I said to myself. Those are important things to change. And I'm learning that immediately when I started to talk to myself better, instead of saying, no, I can't do that. Why would I want to do that? And I started saying, I can do that. I may not know how to do it. That's okay. I'm gonna learn how to do it. And when you do that, it sets you up for being aligned with that thing that you want to do, and you start to visualize and see yourself doing it. Some people are not good at visualizing, and I always thought I wasn't either. But now I'm seeing, like, it doesn't have to be this complicated full motion picture for an hour or two. I mean, if you can do that, that's great. And is it going to help you more? And you're probably going to manifest something that you want a whole heck of a lot faster. Yes. But you're going to want to believe in yourself, because when you say those things like, oh, I can do this, I immediately noticed as soon as I said that, I felt better about it. I started to do it better. I started to make changes. It was an instant thing. And because before, when I said it, I didn't really take it all in and believe it. I didn't necessarily think I actually could do it. Well, if you're in that boat, you need to have some work and do some work on the mind. And that's okay, because anything that you have to do, any work that you have to do, anything that's worth doing is going to require effort. And it's going to require you to do things that you don't know how to do. And it's going to open you up, and it's going to put you through some uncomfortable things. You're going to go out of your comfort zone. And that's how you get to a better position. You start thinking better. And you might say, well, I believe in myself. I really don't, but I believe in myself. And then you say it again, and you say, oh, and I was noticing my thoughts that I had that came in. the thoughts that I was saying were consistent with why I didn't believe myself. I would say, oh, well, yeah, that's not something for me. No, I can't see myself doing that. That's not something that I can do. So if you like the content of the videos, you like what it is I'm conveying, what I'm saying, how I'm speaking, I know I need to work on some things. I'm working on them, the way I talk and to be myself, and I'm not really exactly 100% comfortable with this. This is outside my comfort zone, and I'm doing that myself. I'm putting myself out there, doing something that's extremely uncomfortable. I'm noticing like nervous twitches, my legs shaking, or my body's moving, my arms are moving, but it's okay. I'm allowing myself to learn. I'm allowing myself the understanding that this is new and it's not going to be perfect. And I'm not going to be able to do things perfectly yet. With practice, I can do them better, and I can do them the best that I can at some point. And being okay with that. Having compassion for yourself. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you have something that's going on, comment. And I look forward to making more of these videos and to seeing you in the future. Thanks.